Breaking news. Welcome to today's headlines. Be warned. Stay away from Nnamdi Kanus case. 52 Northern groups warn United Nations. Be warned. Stay away from Nnamdi Kanus case. 52 Northern groups warn United Nations. So my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, please stay tuned as I read today's news. A coalition of northern groups CNG has warned the federal government to be wary of the United Nations UN interest in the case of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. The CNG equally cautioned officials of the UN to keep off the internal affairs of Nigeria, particularly Kanu's case. This is even as the 52 northern groups accused the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC of deception, saying that its failure to execute the threat to embark on a 3-day nationwide strike 2 weeks after its public protest over the rift between the government and the university lecturers was merely an attempt to gain social power and political influence ahead of the 2023 general elections. These were contained in a communique signed by the CNG spokesman, Abdul Aziz Suleiman, and issued to newsmen in Abuja on Monday at the end of the coalition 3-day retreat. The communique reads, "We caution the UN to desist from allowing some of its officials to drag it into international disrepute by interfering in particular with the matter of the trial of the IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu. We equally caution the Nigerian authorities against succumbing to undue pressure from whatever quarter so as to avoid setting a dangerous precedent in the country. We condemn unequivocally the obvious double standards and deception by the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC with its unexplained silence on its pledge to resume a 3-day nationwide solidarity protest several days after the expiration of their 2 weeks ultimatum for government to act to resolve the university's workers' crisis. On the 2023 elections, the CNG also urged Northerners to ask those seeking their vote to provide comprehensive programs for the development of the region and promotion of their interests. We call on Northern voters to resist the temptation to vote solely on the basis of political party, region, tribe, or religious, and instead chose to install a credible leadership that could see the nation through and out of its current situation from, if needs be, even the so-called peripheral parties. We demand from every candidate seeking Northern vote to provide comprehensive programs for the development of the region and promotion of protection of Northern interest around security and the economy, the communique reads. On the lingering insecurity, the retreat also resolved to demand an immediate, transparent, and comprehensive investigation into growing concerns over rampant defense corruption running into trillions of naira. We demand urgent government explanation on what is inhibiting the ability of Nigerian armed forces to effectively tackle the insurgent threat in the northeast banditry and kidnappings in the northwest, as well as respond to the secessionist violence in the southeast, oil bunkering in the Niger Delta, the conflict in the north central, and the threat of maritime piracy in the Gulf of Guinea, the communique added. On the humanitarian issues in the north, the retreat alerted Nigerians to the magnitude of the humanitarian disaster that Boko Haram and the activities of bandits have created. Meanwhile, the Minister of State for Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, has said that President Muhammadu Buhari-led government has significantly reduced Boko Haram's dominance to almost nothing. The minister, who claimed that the Buhari government inherited the Boko Haram problem, also admitted that the terrorists have not been totally wiped out. Keyamo, who is the spokesperson for the All Progressives Congress, APC presidential campaign, spoke on Monday during an interview with Trust TV. He said, "What did we inherit? We inherited the Boko Haram problem. At that time, they had taken over more than 14 local governments in the northeast and hoisted their flags. We inherited the farmers' herders crisis that had been going on before Olusegun Obasanjo's time. These are existential problems. What have we done about those two problems? A club like El Kanemi Football Club of Borno that were playing their football matches in Bauchi because of insecurity. Nobody could gather in one place in Maiduguri to watch a football match. Now El Kanemi is back to Maiduguri. That is success. Boko Haram hasn't been totally wiped out, but it has reduced significantly because we constructively engaged our neighbors. We reduced them to almost nothing. I am not saying these things have totally wiped out, but on the scale of what we met and on the scale of what we have, it has reduced significantly." So my dear listeners, now I've come to the end of our today's news. Please do drop by at the comment section